Hello everyone, welcome to my class. Today I am going to start a revision class, that is a new chapter from part A section chapter 2, Theory of Consumer Behavior. In this chapter we'll study 1 marks, 2 marks as well as 4 marks and 6 marks question with answers, and very important 4 marks and 6 marks questions that also we'll learn in this chapter. Then dear students, we'll start now those important questions. First we will discuss about what is consumer behavior. Consumer behavior. Consumer means what? An individual. His behavior for what? That is to attain maximum level of satisfaction. So then, in order to attain a maximum level of satisfaction, what the consumer will do? Then definitely, so consumer, he can spend money, that is to get the maximum level of satisfaction. Yes, so that the theory of consumer behavior, which studies about how the consumer spend their income, that is to attain the maximum level of satisfaction or utility. In the theory of consumer behavior, there are mainly two theories are there. That is, first one is utility theory, another one is indifference theory, indifference analysis or indifference theory. Then in detail we will discuss those two theories. Theories of consumer behavior, there are two. One is utility theory. This is what? Cardinal approach theory. Another one is indifference preference theory. So this is what? The ordinal approach. So then what is utility theory? And regarding these two theories also we will discuss in detail, that is in the next episode also. So here utility is nothing but want satisfying power of a commodity. Yes, utility means what? Want satisfying power of a commodity. And also the utility which is measured, that is with the help of utils. Okay, the number of utils we can say that, right? So that utility is what? Want satisfying power. How to say that want satisfying power? Take for example, if there are two commodities are there. Okay, one is apple, another one is banana, right? So if suppose a person A, he consume apple. If for example person A, he consume an apple because why? Because he consume more apple, because reason is nothing but he will get a more satisfaction, that is from apple than the banana, so that his want satisfying capacity or that power is more in that product or in that commodity. So that utility is what? Want satisfying power. And utility theory, it was introduced or it is developed by Jevons, Walras and Menger, but the real credit will goes to, that is for Alfred Marshall and A.C. Pigou. Thus we can say that utility means what? This is for 1 marks question. Want satisfying power of a commodity or a service. Then the features of utility, we can say that the following are the features. First one is utility is expected satisfaction. Utility should not be confused with usefulness, and it does not speak anything about morality, and also utility is subjective concept. So these are the features of a utility. Dear students, now we are going to discuss about one of the 2 marks important question, that is approaches of consumer behavior. There are mainly 2 approaches of consumer behavior. One is cardinal approach, another one is ordinal approach. As we know that already, utility theory, it is one of the cardinal approach, and indifference preference theory, that is one of the ordinal approach, right? So these are the 2 approaches of consumer behavior. Now we will discuss in detail regarding these two approaches, and these two approaches are also for 2 marks question. The question is like, mention the approaches of consumer behavior theory. Okay, at that time you need to write, mention it. Mention means you need to write only the points. First one cardinal approach, second one ordinal approach. That much enough. Now we will discuss in detail regarding the cardinal approach. So cardinal approach, it is also known as you know that, utility approach. So utility is measured, that is in terms of cardinal numbers. Then what is cardinal approach? Okay, that means if the utility is measured, that is in terms of cardinal numbers like 1, 2, 3, etc., and this is called as cardinal approach. Yes, and the founders of cardinal utility analysis have developed 2 laws, and which occupy an important place in economic theory and has several applications and uses. So these 2 laws are, so under the cardinal approach theory there are 2 important laws. One is law of diminishing marginal utility, another one is law of equi-marginal utility. So these are the 2 laws which incur under this approach, that is cardinal approach. Okay. So in these 2 laws, first one law of diminishing marginal utility, this you know that already for 6 marks question, that later we will discuss in detail. Okay. And who is the main chief exponent of the cardinal utility approach? That is Alfred Marshall. As you know that, so Alfred Marshall, he is a chief exponent of this approach, and also according to this cardinal concept, here utility is measured. How? That is on the basis of cardinal numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Okay, so this is what the concept of a cardinal utility approach. So once again we will revise it. So cardinal utility approach, it is one of the utility approach. Yes, and here how the utility is measured in this approach, that is through the help of cardinal numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. And who is the chief exponent of this approach? Is Alfred Marshall, and there are 2 famous laws are introduced under this approach. One is law of diminishing marginal utility approach, another one is law of equi-marginal utility. Next, second approach is ordinal approach. So the modern economists like J.R. Hicks and R.G.D. Allen and others supported this approach. Here utility is obtained or utility is measured, that is through ranks or the order. See dear students, see the difference here. Under the cardinal approach, there we can express utility in terms of cardinal numbers. But in the ordinal approach here, we can express the utility, that is in terms of ranks or order. So this is what the 2 broad approaches of consumer behavior theory, that is cardinal approach as well as the ordinal approach. So under the ordinal approach, one of the famous theory, that is indifference curve theory, that theory also comes under this ordinal approach, that we can discuss in detail another one episode. Okay students, in the next episode I will further continue regarding this chapter. At that time we will discuss one of the famous or one of the very important question, that is law of diminishing utility theory, that I am going to discuss in the next episode. Thank you.